Welcome to Fantasy Fanline.
What is up, everybody? We are Fantasy Fanline, and we are back with a brand new episode. We are through 5 weeks of the NFL season, and time is flying. Time is indeed flying. My right-hand man, Sinker's in the building. What's up, Sinker? How was your week 5, bro?
Man, Chase went off, so all's good over here, man. I had so much exposure to Jamar Chase this year, and I'm glad I held on to him, didn't trade low, and man, Sunday felt good. It was nice seeing him do that gritty, man.
Yeah, I mean, what morons would tell you to bench Joe Burrow and leave him on the bench till he gets right, Don't watch those podcasts. Yeah, Jamar Chase, he's that guy. We told you to be patient, and he did what he does. It was beautiful. Just a reminder, we are a call-in show. Give us a ring. Let's talk some ball. But without further ado, a first-time guest on Fantasy Fanline. He's from Get Right Fantasy. Anthony, a.k.a. Rasta. Welcome in, Rasta. How you feeling, man? How was your week 5? Happy to have you on.
Absolutely. What up, fellas? Glad to be here. Thanks for having me. First time, hopefully not the last time, so I'll try not to ruin the show. But I see the lineup of guests that you guys have coming on here, so I'm truly honored to be a part of it. So thanks for having me tonight, guys.
Absolutely.
Of course, man. We appreciate all you do for the industry and Get Right Fantasy. And he had a mock draft tourney. Rasta hosted a mock draft tournament in the off season, so we're all itching for the real deal. It was something fun. There was a little prize for the winner. I don't agree with my how my team's gradings went, but it's all
nobody does.
It's all subjective. It was a great time, and it passed the time when we got ready for the real deal. Albert, another week with Albert, man. Thank you so much, bro.
What up, Albert?
Hope you're doing good. Hope you had a great week 5, like Jamar Chase did. I'll tell you who didn't have a good week 5. It was the New England Patriots. So what the hell is going on with the New England Patriots? I'm not going to take the credit on this one, but someone in one of my dynasty leagues said, if you started Ben DiNucci, you would have had more points at the quarterback position than Mac Jones.
Yikes.
That's a big yikes. Mac Jones looks horrible. The offensive line looks horrible, which means Ramondre can't get going. The Patriots are down in every game. What the hell is wrong with New England? And is Bill Belichick on the hot seat? Are we going to see Bill Belichick get fired? I personally don't think so. I think if it really came down to it, it'd be more of Bill, tell me retiring. They have so much love and respect for him there. I think they'd let him coach there till he died if they really wanted to, all he's done for that organization. But we're talking fantasy football. Some people, he wasted a high draft capital pick on Ramondre Stevenson. That's probably the big name you want to talk about. But what's going on? We'll pass it to you, Rasta.
Ooh, I think I might have froze. Did you ask me something?
Yeah, what's going on with the Patriots?
All right, no, that's an easy one. It was probably perfect the way it worked out because that was basically my answer. Nothing, absolutely nothing is going on over there as far as fantasy goes. They're basically irrelevant to me. I mean, I have nobody that I have worth starting there. Henry for a little while was worth starting just when he thought he was worth it. He puts up some duds. I was telling people last night on the waiver wire, especially in your 2 QB and super flex leagues, to maybe go grab Bailey Zappi just to see what might happen there. Try to get ahead of the game a little bit, just in case Mac Jones does get benched. He had all the offseason kind of turmoil. Wasn't happy with the coaching last year. Was requested a trade, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So in all honesty, and it's a travesty what's going on with Stevenson, he should at least still be producing. They're just not using him in the right way. Obviously, the Zeke signing messed all that up too, from what we thought Stevenson, could have been this year for his potential breakout. Juju's been a no-show as well too. The Devontae Parker. I mean, you just go down the list, and it's just a bunch of irrelevancy in regards to fantasy goes. So almost like all years, you kind of just want to stay away from all Patriots when it comes to fantasy and Bill Belichick. So that's kind of where I'm leaning there. And as far as what to do with Belichick, like you said, what he's done for that franchise, the amount of rings he's gotten, a couple bad years, they shouldn't be tossing him to the curb, so to speak. But all I have to say to you Patriots fan is welcome to the club. Like, how does it feel not to be winning Super Bowls like every other year? So welcome to regular football fandom. The grass isn't always just green every year for you. So I have no ill will towards their fans right now. So just drink it, sip it, taste it. We've all been there. Let somebody else rise to the top, kind of like my Niners right now trying to get there. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, they definitely they can't complain, after all those rings. They can take these few bad years. But Ramondre Stevenson, man, everyone with the brand was kind of iffy on the Patriots going into the year, but they figured Stevenson's still a beast. He's still going to get the receptions to give you that safe floor, and it feels like Mac Jones can't even dump the ball off right. He's that bad right now. He can't even get this guy 2 yards screen cat. It's ridiculous. I'm watching Mac Jones and I'm like, oh, as a Giants fan, maybe we don't have the worst Jones in the league. But I know Sinker, we were both kind of in on Ramondre going in. Is it time to hit the panic button? Is he on your bench until you can see him do something at this point? I know it's all situational and in your league, but
I mean, it's tough because where you took Ramondre, you're probably counting on him, and there's probably, not a guy, unless you played the waiver right, you put in the right fab bids, you're probably playing Ramondre. Other than that, though, there's no one on that team that I think I feel comfortable starting. Especially with bye weeks going on, you're probably playing Ramondre, but I don't know, you're not feeling confident about it. He's just not getting the volume, and it's that offense can't move. Mac Jones sucks. I mean, Rasta covered it extremely well. It's just it's ugly down there, man.
Yeah, I mean, the first week against Philly, he saw 6 targets. He caught all 6, went for 64 yards. And that was against a good Philadelphia defense. You can't really run on them. So I'm not going to even look into his running stats. But Miami, he saw 3 targets for 3 yards. 3 targets for 3 receptions. Then he played the Jets, saw 4 targets, only 1 reception. Then 3 targets, only 2 receptions against Dallas. 2 targets, no receptions against New Orleans. He does get the Raiders. If you don't, I'm not starting a guy like Jerick McKinnon or Kendre Miller, any of these, these guys you have on your bench just in case. You're not starting him over Ramondre Stevenson. So you just got to keep your fingers crossed in that Raiders matchup that I could see at least 6 targets again, come down with 4, and hopefully things improve. Mac Jones definitely on the hot seat. I love that Bailey Zappi call. He should be rostered in all Dynasty Super Flex leagues, but go check just in case he's not. Deep benches, but that's definitely a good call, Rasta, with Bailey Zappi, because Mac Jones does not look like he's got the sauce right now. We got
I mean, and it's with Ramondre, it's not even game script, right? If they were winning and he wasn't catching any balls, it's they're trailing, man, and he's still not getting any volume. So that's the concerning part.
True. They're down in games, and he's not. He should be getting those receptions, and he's just not. We got Akiro. I think this is one of your watchers, Rasta. So I'm not sure if this was the right move, but traded Lamar and Higgins for Montgomery. Man, David Montgomery looks like a league winner right now. I'm not even mad about it. Lamar looked bad against Pittsburgh. I know it was the divisional game. He looked bad. I know his receivers were dropping passes, so I can't put it all on him.
Yeah,
I like that trade, man. If you got guys on the waiver wire of Stafford and Purdy are still on waivers, or if you had a solid backup for Lamar, I think Montgomery's the league winner. We got Gibbs. We didn't even know what to do with Gibbs when he was healthy. Now he's banged up. This Detroit offense is good. I like that trade for you, man. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree. Rasta?
I think it's a little too much, man. For me, I probably would have, seen if I can have done it for just Higgins or just Lamar. But funny that you say that, because I brought up one of my home leagues, one of my higher stake buy-ins. I drafted Bijan as my RB1 and Stevenson as my RB2. But luckily, I was able to snag David Montgomery, who I've been big on. We were big on him all offseason over at Get Right. And luckily, I've been sitting Stevenson for like the last 3 weeks for Montgomery. So that's, worked out pretty well. And I think I had to throw Herb during there the week that Demont was hurt. But, I think it's a great running back to target. I just think you overpaid a little bit. But in my opinion, sometimes it takes what it takes to get a trade done. And if it helps benefit your team and you didn't create a hole by getting this guy, then you got a quality player, on your team. Anyone who's going to get 32 carries in a game that a coach is willing to give somebody just 32 carries in a game, there's a spot for him on my team.
For sure. And the way the running backs are looking like so rough, like a lot of them going down with injuries. Like if you have one of those Montgomery type backs who are just getting it done every week, you're at an advantage. He says,
getting those value touches.
He had Purdy on the bench. Now he has Montgomery, Kamara, and Mostert, which I really like in PPR. He had Connor and Jefferson, but the injury bug hit me, so needed something. Yeah, we'll talk. We'll get into Purdy. Ooh. We'll get into the Connor injury. We'll get into the Jefferson injury, but I'm cool with leaning Purdy and getting an upgrade at running back there. I mean, T. Higgins and Lamar, that's a lot. Like, it's a lot to give up, but it feels like it fits with your team very well. So we're rooting for you there. Sinker, you agree that you like this trade, or?
Yeah, I mean, like it's all situational, but yeah, with Purdy on the bench, if you're willing to get rid of Lamar and move it with, especially what he said right there, he's got Montgomery, Kamara, Mostert. It looks like he needed RB help. So
yeah,
and you've got JJ. I know JJ is going to the IR, but hopefully it's not a whole season type thing. Hopefully, Montgomery can cover you a little bit that way. You get JJ back. Moving Higgins isn't that big of a deal for me. So I don't know. I agree. I think it might have been a little bit of an overpay, but it's all situational, right? Like the online calculators might say overpay, but if it fits your team and it fits, what you need, and it sounds like it does, I think it's a good trade for you.
Yeah, and I don't mind doing those 2-for-1 trades right now too, especially heading into these bye weeks. Sometimes having that open roster spot is almost just as important than the guy you're getting in a trade. So sometimes in a vacuum, it's okay to take a little bit of an L on the trade. Not only does it kind of loosen your league up for trades, which is kind of what you want anyway. Get your guy, open up your spot. It's better than having to drop somebody and giving somebody away for free. So at least you got a piece that helps your team. And again, it's not about necessarily other people. It's about your team and, what works. So, in a vacuum, maybe it's a little bit of overpay, but, like we're all saying here, I don't think any of us are arguing that Demont's not that guy right now.
I know.
He is indeed that guy. Tommy Dones with another trade question. Would you trade Lamb for Fields and McLaughlin PPR? And my answer is hell no. Not in single QB. I'm not trading CD Lamb. I know we'll get into the Cowboys offense a little bit later, but in single QB, no, I wouldn't make that trade. Do you guys agree?
Tommy, what do you need a quarterback or what's going on there? Like, there's got to be something, right, that you could pull on the waiver.
You had my thoughts exactly.
Yeah, it's tough. McLaughlin, like he's nice, but Javonte practiced in full. He's probably going to play on Thursday, so we got to wait and see, right? Like, we don't know what the volume, what the situation is going to be, and I think we'll dig into that a little bit later on with the show, but CeeDee Lamb is just so valuable, and we're going to talk about the Cowboys later too, but it's just hard to move a guy like that for that type of value.
Yeah, that's like a guy who's like a core piece of your team.
Yeah. And you're probably selling
your first round pick. Yeah,
you're selling low after a rough game for the whole Dallas offense. Hold CeeDee Lamb, man. That's a guy you want on your squad moving forward. Let's get into some more mailbag. Injuries, they suck. Justin Jefferson, 4 weeks minimum on the IR. Is Jordan Addison a league winner with the unfortunate news about Jefferson? I mean, let me look at my crystal ball.
Right? I was going to say, I was like, who's going to answer that?
Yeah.
But if I were to call my shot, man, I would say he is. It's a passing offense. Addison's looked great besides the one goose egg. He's putting up great numbers for a rookie in his first 5 games. Now they lose Jefferson. They're saying if they're saying Cousins, trade rumors, he said, she said, but they're saying if Cousins keeps losing these games, that he might be on the block. And the only way, they're going to bring Jefferson back is if they pay him. Did you hear any of those rumors? We never know until it happens. But, yeah, obviously a massive blow. The best player in fantasy football out at least 4 weeks. It's a blow for Cousins owners. It's a blow if you took, Jefferson 1.1, 1.2. It just sucks. It's bad for the game. It's bad for real NFL, and it's bad for fantasy football. Hate to see one of the best players in the league get hurt. Hate to see anyone get hurt. But as far as Jordan Addison, the coaches, they love him. Kirk Cousins, nothing but great things to say about this kid. And he's going to have to be the guy. He's going to have to step up. So if I'm going to call my shot and he stays healthy, I'm going to say, yeah, he could be a league winner for you. We don't know how bad how much this is going to linger. Hammies are bad news. We all know this. So Cooper Kupp, list goes on with hamstring injuries, but I'll call my shot and say Jordan Addison's, we were telling people to start him every week until we didn't see it from him. Now he's the guy. I don't know if that's going to hurt him because he's going to see more top coverage and more, the defense is going to be all over him. But yeah, I only see him getting better and better if he's going to get more looks. But what does your crystal ball say, Rasta? Is this guy going to win you some leagues?
I thought he was already going to win people some leagues without the Justin Jefferson injury. Right now he's sitting at 29 targets through 5 games, which is a 98 target pace over 17 games, which is already great. We know Adam Thielen vacated 107 targets in this offense last year, which is why I was targeting him, big time this offseason, in our drafts, or I guess the season, whatever you want to call it. So, in my opinion, it was already on the wall that he was going to be a fantasy contributor. In my opinion, he scored a touchdown before Jefferson did. So if that didn't get you excited, right away, I don't know what else you need to see from Addison here. He's, now with Jefferson gone, again, Jefferson had 184 targets last year over 17 games. Is going to miss his first, games of his career so far. And so you'd have to assume that's going to throw him over, that 98 target pace now. Him, KJ Osborne, we'll see what happens there. But, we've already seen this offense have to be battling from behind. The game script is going to be in their favor with the way the Vikings defense is playing. So absolutely, if he happens to be, out there in your leagues, go get him. I'm not totally emptying the bank on him as far as like trading, crazy pieces. I'm not trading like CeeDee Lamb for him or, anything like that. But I think he could be a very nice piece here. And as far as the trade rumors and stuff go with Cousins, those are all rumors. Let's wait and see what happens. But it wouldn't make sense. They are trying to win now. They just paid Jefferson, right? So they're not going to want to start over and rebuild, with someone else. So even if they move on from Cousins, they should get another vet, next year. But as far as this year goes, I don't think they're technically all the way out of it. But this is the difference. Last year they were winning all those 1-score games, and this year they're losing them all. So that's the difference that they're experiencing right now. But as far as fantasy goes, definitely get Addison on there. And if you were watching with us in the offseason, you would have known to just already have him on your team, so you didn't have to worry about it.
Right.
Yeah, check in with Get Right Fantasy. They'll get you right. Is he a guy, just looser leagues? For some reason he is on waivers. He's a guy you're dishing 100% of your fab on, because I think I am if I'm desperate. Receiver.
Yeah, if you're hurting, especially if you're with a JJ owner, then you need to go spend to get him. He's going to be worth it. And again, like I said, it's not even just for the potential minimum 4 games that Jefferson's going to miss. Like, he's going to still contributing, and usually it takes rookies about a half a year anyway. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Christian Watson, OBJ, his rookie year. Like, these guys usually wait to the second half to kind of, bust out anyway to have their breakout games and finish the year strong, which is what shoots them up the draft boards the following year. So again, with the targets that are going to be available in this offense, he's going to be a viable piece, throughout, even when JJ comes back, and he's going to have even more trust to Cousins by then. So, he definitely would be somebody that if he's out there and you need to make that move, then dial up as much as you feel comfortable there. You guys know your leagues, but if you know you got heavy spenders there, then that you got to go get him. Like he's going to be worth it.
Make it rain.
Absolutely.
Make it rain on that fab. Sinker, yeah. Anything to add? How you feeling about Addison with the Justin Jefferson injury?
Yeah, I mean, if you drafted Addison, congratulations, because you just fell into a wide receiver one. I mean, JJ was demanding 30% target share, and so Addison is gonna, probably fill that role. He's probably gonna get close to that. The play action that they run there fits him perfectly. So, I mean, yeah, you guys pretty much covered it all. I don't know if Addison's available in many leagues. If he is, go get him. But yeah, league winner is a bold thing to say, but he's definitely going to ball out. We'll see. I want to see how long JJ's out for, but for the time being with him out, I mean, Addison is a must start. He's probably a top, definitely top 24 wide receiver every week.
For sure.
Yeah, I think he beats that.
And
Warrior
one
Law.
little.
What's up, bro?
Go ahead.
Thanks for
What's up, Warrior? How's it going, man? I just want to add to that just real quickly before we move on. Brandon Powell. If you miss out on Addison, maybe he clears waivers. Maybe you throw a little side bid on Brandon Powell. This man didn't see a snap, I don't think, really all year. Up until he's seen a couple snaps. The last two games. Didn't play the first two games. Played the last two games up until this week 5. Didn't play a snap until JJ got hurt. Came in, saw 6 targets, had 4 catches for 43 yards. Just in the fourth quarter since Jefferson left. Obviously, they were mounting that comeback, which, like I mentioned earlier, they're probably going to be in that game script, especially without JJ now, more often than not. So he's somebody a little deeper sleeper that you can get. Maybe if you do whiff on Addison, someone does unload their entire budget there and you miss. Maybe throw a little side bid on Powell there, and I think he could give you some decent wide receiver 3 flexible type guy, at least heading into this next week. Against Chicago for sure. So he'd be someone, if you're again in a pinch and need to throw someone in there, I'd take a stab at him.
Do you prefer Powell over KJ Osborne? Because I'm not sure if I do, but I'm interested to hear how you feel about it.
Not yet. I mean, I think it still goes Addison, KJ, Powell, just based on, KJ had some decent games last year, especially at the end of the year. I think in that week 17, especially in a lot of those best ball teams, he blew up, had a big game. I think a 2-touchdown game in week 17 last year, if I'm not mistaken. Something big like that. Maybe it was just 1 touchdown, but I know he had a pretty big game. He was one of those guys that, they were talking about the stacks for last year and the best ball mania, things like that. So I think he has the trust of Cousins. He's been in this offense already. He's just not he's not a playmaker. They didn't spend the draft capital on him like they did Addison. So I think Addison for sure is the default one in the offense. And then I think there'll be enough to go around between Osborne and then Powell. But definitely look for Hawkinson to get a nice spike as well, too. He was a little banged up at the end of this game, but he did return. So that was good news heading again against Chicago. So everyone should probably ball out. And again, this will be a nice, little test to see if they don't produce in this game, then we might have to pump the brakes on Osborne and Powell moving forward. But if there was going to be a week to start him, this would be it. Definitely not the following week against my Niners. I wouldn't advise starting him.
I don't like starting anyone against your Niners, man. They look like they might, go all the way.
Nah, don't say it. I don't even want to hear it. We're just taking one game at a time, man. We're talking about the Browns. That's it.
Yeah.
Here's my prediction. Purdy goes down. Sam Darnold steps in. Wins
Savior.
the ship.
Oh, man. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
I don't want to see Sam Darnold hoist the Lombardi
anything.
Super Bowl.
Anything. All he can hold is Purdy's water bottle. I'll be happy with that in the clipboard.
Oh, man. Well, we got to get into another injury here. Another unfortunate
Let's do it.
one.
Rip the Band-Aid off. Let's do it.
Oh, man. Is Jeff Wilson now in play with Achane expected to miss time, man? That Achane and Jefferson, 2 guys that were looking like they were going to let you roll away with your leagues. Just big play after big play, man. It's this is the worst part about football and fantasy football, man. These injuries. Achane was balling like 3 straight games. Like everyone's like, "Can he keep it up? Can he keep it up?" I'm like, "Just start him. Start him. He's gonna do it," and he kept doing it. and it sucks.
Yeah, we started people that were producing less, so there should have been no question there.
For sure. But yeah, I think Jeff Wilson's in play. They said today they were going to get him back to practice. HM's going to miss multiple weeks. We don't know how many. But yeah, definitely somebody you should pick up. Mostert's still the guy there, unfortunately, with the HN injury. But I think on the goal line, Wilson's going to get some burn. I think Mostert can't be a workhorse like that. He has a long injury history, and I just don't see him getting all those touches. So yeah, Jeff Wilson's definitely in play. He should be one of the top ads on waivers. I want to pass this to you, Sinker. What the hell's going on with this Dolphins backfield now with the HN injury?
I mean, I did say this. I didn't know HN would get injured, but I did say 2 weeks ago, look out for Jeff Wilson when he comes back, man. I thought even with HN, even with him balling, Jeff Wilson was still going to get touches. They like him there, man. Mike McDaniel likes him a lot. I think he's going to get work. I really do. And I think, honestly, if you held him and he's active, I would start him. Honestly, I think there's going to be enough volume to go around, and I like it, man. His problem is just staying healthy, but if he can stay healthy and he hasn't, lost that big of a step on coming off injury, I think he's going to be a good player, man. I think he's going to fill in.
Yeah, for sure. We said it for multiple weeks now. You have anybody, worth starting in this Dolphins offense, they should probably be in your lineup. This team scores a lot of points, and they're going to continue to score a lot of points. So, yeah, we're in on Jeff Wilson. Until HN gets back, Sinker's still in, even if he comes back. Rasta, how you feeling about this backfield now?
Yeah, I think you kind of hit it, on the head. Obviously, Mostert's not going to carry this load completely himself. You saw when he was traded over last year to the Dolphins, basically was an immediate 50-50 split between he and Mostert. Obviously familiar with the offense, familiar with the coaching. Both these guys, Mostert and Wilson, last year played 16 games. Mostert 181 carries. Jeff Wilson, who came later, 176. I mean, these guys were just basically mirror images of each other. 891 yards for Mostert, 860 yards for Wilson. Both of them had a 4.9 yard average. Mostert had 3 touchdowns. Wilson had 5, getting a little more of the goal line work, but Mostert was worked a little more in the passing game, having 31 catches on 42 targets. But Wilson was still involved a little bit, 22 catches on 37 targets, 202 and 185 yards respectively. 2 touchdowns, 1 touchdown for Mostert, Wilson, respectively. So, I mean, literally they were the exact same guy. So, they have the trust, and don't even, don't sleep on Savon Ahmed either. Coming back from injury here, did have some play in the preseason. So again, if anything were to happen to Mostert or Wilson, that's definitely a guy to keep an eye on as well. And just going back to A-Chain, whatever we're calling him nowadays.
Yeah.
I've heard, all 3, 4, and 5 different ways to pronounce it. So I'll stick with HN, I guess. But it looks like, from what I saw and what I heard, it looks like he is a IR candidate. They haven't officially placed him like Connor went on the IR today, but it could be coming like as soon as tomorrow, which means he'll miss at least 4 games. So I think, Wilson is worth a grab. I'm not unloading, my fab for him or anything like that because there is uncertainty. Remember, his agent originally said there was even speculation he may not even come back. He was eligible to come back last week, but didn't, so took an extra week. He's still within that 21-day window. So again, these are just, you got to kind of read between the lines with some of those things. I don't think he's going to come back and get, 25 carries, but these guys' offense is so potent. Like Achane didn't even need. I mean, he got 11 carries for like 300 yards and like 7 touchdowns. It seemed like, I mean, it's just like it's absurd. Like 13.7, yards per carry. I mean, it's just gaudy numbers that he was putting up with that speed in this offense with all the threats they have. So, he has to be valuable, right? It's just how much are you willing to invest of him? What are you willing to, gamble on? For me, not too much. But again, the way running back position's going right now, you might have to put a bid in for him. So
for sure,
it's ugly. It's ugly out there, man. The running
it's rough.
So ugly.
It's rough.
I'll tell you.
Just be happy if you drafted CMC.
Yeah, I was just gonna get into that. I'll tell you what's not rough. Life in San Francisco.
Let's go.
Is Brock Purdy a must-start QB1?
Ooh, I'll go to. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm used to hosting my show, so I'm like, I'm throwing it to Sinker on this one. I want to hear what he has to say.
Currently, the quarterback 7 seems to be as safe as any quarterback in the league as far as getting you know, 19, 20 points every week. Had 34 against the Cowboys. Tough defense, right? 34 points.
So they say.
Put Darnold in the game. Yeah, so they say. You saw that whole beef with Micah Parsons. Like, we'll make it personal. Should have made it personal on the field. You got your ass beat.
Yeah, right.
You're a couple days late on that, man.
The only people drinking that Kool-Aid live in Dallas, man.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Rasta pass to Sinker. Sinker, how you feeling about Mr. Irrelevant, aka in the MVP race, Brock Purdy?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think if you have him, right, it depends. Like if you waited around and you picked him up on the waiver wire, like you're definitely playing Purdy. I don't know, like it just depends. I hate to say it, I think he is, but I just hate to say it because I don't know if I think the player's that good. It's just like he is in the perfect offense. He's got the right people around him, and he's making things work, man. And sometimes when that's happening in fantasy, you just have to ride the train, right? Like the difference between like Purdy and like, so Jordan Love before last night, right? Like Jordan Love was in that conversation of like a QB1, but like if you had been following the Packers, Jordan Love didn't look that good. He was just getting there by like a rushing touchdown or like barely getting to where you want him to be. And he didn't look good. If you watch the 49ers and you look at Purdy, he's passing the eye test and he's giving you numbers in fantasy. So I think when both those things combine, it's you got to start this guy. It's funny, man. I don't know if I've got a guy in my league. I don't know if TJ's watching or not, but he's had Purdy. He drafted him in the last round, and I've had Trevor Lawrence all year, and he has tried to trade me Purdy every single week. And I can't give into it because it's like, I don't want to like trade a valuable player for him. But if he's on the waiver wire, like he's absolutely should be rostered, and you're going to feel good if you start him. So.
Mm-hmm. And I'll kind of jump in there and say, maybe you can name 6, 7, maybe 8 quarterbacks you'd feel comfortable starting above him. And then I think it starts to really get questionable. Obviously you have the trio and Hurts, Allen, Mahomes. They're definitely going ahead of him. Probably, Tua, you'd have to put in front of him as well. For me, it's Justin Herbert. I have to have Herbert in front of him as well. And then you start to get into that kind of Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff, Justin Fields, Kirk Cousins. Yep. You kind of start to get into that realm, and it's like, well, based on what he's done, because I think what's kind of scares people and what scares me, with him, so to speak, as far as fantasy terms goes, is we've seen Jimmy G produce numbers in this offense as far as being able to move the offense, have it be efficient, put points up on the board. But they didn't really equate to fantasy points. If you guys kind of remember, Jimmy G was never talked about as like a starting quarterback. He was always like maybe like top 24 if you were lucky. But he's mainly, you know what I mean? Like it was, we weren't putting up 30 points a game. So is that sustainable for an offense to keep putting up 30 plus points a week? And this Kyle Shanahan offense, it is possible. I kind of look at the schedule that the Niners have coming up, and really like we have Cincinnati. And then it's not till like week 13 against the Eagles. There's like literally maybe 3 games. Like, again, I don't want to keep looking ahead because when I look at it, I'm just like, I don't know if it's the fan in me or the analyst. I'm just like, we should be able to win all those games. And I'm like, it's not possible. We're not going undefeated or like two losses all year. But I was just talking about it in one of our chats. I was like, I honestly, to me, wish that the Niners would actually lose this weekend against this Cleveland defense. Just get the loss out of the way, get all the Purdy can't lose talk out of the way, and just let us focus on trying to win a championship. Like, I want that loss to just happen. And to me, this is like almost the perfect setup trap game against this Cleveland defense right now. Coming off all this stuff, they're still talking about the game, and what Micah Parsons said about Niners. Like, we're still talking about it, and it's Tuesday. Like, they should be on to the Browns. Like, Fred Warner was on, like Speak for Yourself today, doing interviews again, following up on, this. You had George Kittle on the Pat McAfee show asking questions about, Parsons and his shirt and all this stuff still on Tuesday. Like, I don't like that as a fan. Like, I want them to be focused now 100% on Cleveland. Like, what's done is done. We won. Great. We had a good night. Move on to the Browns because this defense is nasty. Myles Garrett is nasty. And we need to put a game plan together and be able to execute because none of that matters on Sunday. What happened last Sunday, if we come out and put up a stinker this Sunday, all that talk is going to go right down the hole. There's no guest appearances, no nothing. You're just another team at that point. So I almost just kind of wanted to happen to just get it out of the way so that we can, just get out of the media a little bit and go back to kind of being underdogs and kind of go from there. But I don't think we're going to be underdogs at this point. But
no more underdogs.
I don't want any undefeated talk or MVP Purdy. Like, I just want to kind of go back in the shadows a little bit and just keep, focus on what we have going on. I don't know if I actually answered the question there. But I just had to get my little 2 cents out there.
It's all right. We're liking Purdy.
Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. But yeah, Purdy's that guy though. He's him.
Yeah, definitely. I think I don't know.
It does feel like a trap game. It does have trap game written all over it. Would I bet my hard-earned cash on the Cleveland Browns against the Niners? Absolutely not. So when you go to make a QB decision and you're struggling, you're struggling between Purdy or someone else.
Purdy or Trevor Lawrence?
CMC. Who has CMC?
Right.
That's who I'm leaning. Like the Niners are getting it done. The Niners are getting it done, and I will play Purdy until I see him not get it done anymore. And I think he's going to get it done the whole year. I think he's going to finish as a QB1. I wouldn't necessarily say must start. We already talked about the guys we're not playing. We're going to play over Purdy. But, yeah, he's a QB1 for me, and that Niners team looks pretty damn lethal. So I'm not going to say congrats just yet, Rasta. But
no, and please don't. Please don't.
Yeah, I won't do that to you. But damn, it's like they're so fun to watch. McCaffrey, Ayuk, Debo. How about Kittle with the 3 TDs and the F Dallas shirt? That got me pumped up on a Sunday night.
How is Kittle not your favorite player, man? He loves wrestling. He balls out, he blocks, he takes everyone on. I mean, I just love the makeup of our team right now, man. It's just a good team. It's a fun team to be a fan of at the moment. We've had our down times, and so it's nice to finally be, in this position to see your team doing good. But it's almost like now you have all these expectations. It's almost worse than just knowing you're almost probably going to lose every week. It's the same type of worry. Like, no matter where you are, you're still going to worry as a fan. That's why we're fans. So that's what we're here for.
At best, to be the man, you got to beat the man, and the pressure is going to be on. And you want to win the Super Bowl, there's going to be pressure there, obviously. So
Patty Mahomes versus Purdy.
The only 2 teams to have beaten the last 2 teams that have beaten the Niners are the Eagles and the Chiefs. That's it. They've basically beaten everybody else that they've played ever since Purdy stepped in. So,
long story short,
I need to see what happens.
49ers are good. A lot of good weapons. CMC's good. Ayuk's good. Samuel's good. Kittle's good. Start them all. But how about this one? Aaron Jones, the guy you drafted pretty early in your drafts. He's starting to ruin weekly matchups. It's time to sell for whatever I can get. You'd be selling him at his absolute lowest value.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. The Packers need Aaron Jones if they want to win some games, man. You saw what he did week 1. They're trying to get him right. Do not trade Aaron Jones at his lowest value. You go down with the ship in this situation, man. You already drafted him. You saw what he can do. Don't sell for whatever you can get. If you can somehow pull off a miracle and get like ETN somehow, then
right.
Yeah,
in that case, okay. But,
yeah. But no one's gonna do that. Hold Aaron Jones, and if he's playing, he's in your lineups. I think everyone agrees with me there. Keep it moving forward.
Yeah,
you've already waited too long.
I think he's the guy, honestly, though, and you should be happy that they sat him and then he got the bye because I think he's gonna be good to go after the bye. But I think he's the guy that makes that offense tick, honestly. So I think with him coming back, he is going to help that offense all around. And with that said, he's going to be a great player once he gets back.
Yeah, it might be a great buy low right now if you have a frustrated Aaron Jones owner.
Absolutely.
Got another trade question. Roberto Perez coming in. What's up, Roberto? Would y'all trade Joe Burrow for Waddle? Lost Justin Jefferson in another one of my leagues. or a wide receiver? Y'all, would you target Joe Burrow and Scary Terry? I'm 4-1 on my QB would be Kirk Cousins, who's already been starting these weeks because of how bad Burrow's been doing.
I would just ride Cousins, man. Just keep your positional players and ride Cousins. Like Cousins and Burrow, I know Burrow balled out, but I don't think they're that far off, honestly.
Yeah, I think I would trade Joe Burrow for Jalen Waddle if I had Kirk Cousins to plug. I know it sucks playing Cousins now without the best, offensive weapon in the league. That's a little shakier, but they're still gonna throw. But Joe Burrow, man, we were wrong about sitting him, Senker. He's back.
I know.
Yeah, might be Jamar Chase. He's always effing open.
We need to talk about. I know we need to talk about. We need to bench Trevor Lawrence until we see elsewhere and let him ball out because I need that to happen. So,
let's just put that into the universe right now.
Everyone bench Trevor Lawrence
until he shows you.
Yeah.
Except us, because we're gonna play him and he's gonna go off.
There you go.
I'm still playing. I had the league with Lawrence. I still have Kirk Cousins. I'm still playing Kirk Cousins till I see it. But
Lawrence, I don't want to get too far off topic, but Lawrence hasn't been that bad. He's just I feel like he's a ticking time bomb, and it might just be because I'm biased, but I feel like he's gonna get there, man. The points are gonna.
Zay Jones.
I know.
Zay Jones.
Yeah,
that's the ticket. That's the unlocking ticket for him.
Yeah,
he needs Zay Jones on the field.
Zay Jones, but he's just been I watched that. I woke up early and watched that game. You guys probably did too, but it's just 2 red zone turnovers. That's what's killing him right there. If he throws a touchdown one of those times, he's getting where you expect him to be. So I don't know. I feel like he's a ticking time bomb, and maybe I'm biased because he's a Sanchi my guy, and I bought in. But I just feel like he's gonna. I feel like he's gonna get there, man. I feel like he's gonna get there.
Hey, Ridley's looking better and better. He's getting the love he deserves.
The offense is great, dude. Travis Etienne, that offense is great. That's why I'm not. I think Trevor Lawrence is a buy low if someone wants to get rid of him, or if someone drops him. I definitely think he's a guy. We talked about that 2 episodes ago, and I'm still saying that. I just feel like he's got everything in place. It's just making it happen. So
come on, Trevor. All right. Back to Roberto's question. We trading Joe Burrow for Jalen Waddle? He lost Jefferson. Needs some respect. All right. Yeah, I am too. Rasta saying no.
He's got Cousins. Even though he's got Cousins, Rasta, you're not taking Waddle.
Cousins doesn't have JJ anymore.
But we just talked about Addison being that one. We just talked about Addison being one.
But he doesn't have Chase. He doesn't have Chase, and he doesn't have an offense that's going to throw 56 times. Granted, they're probably right there with them as far as attempts, but again, he doesn't have Chase. Did I say that yet? So I've been big. I know Burrow's been sucking. I've been, every trade show we have, he's been on my buy list. I personally traded for him in Dynasty. I was able to trade Cousins and Mike Evans for Burrow in Dynasty on Saturday night, right before the game he went off. And the dude was sending me texts saying, you won this trade. And he was a win now. I'm in a rebuild. I mean, it worked out for me perfectly. I have him and CJ Stroud now in my super flex Dynasty team. So I'm going to have those 2 paired up hopefully for a long time. And I think I got away with the steal on that. So yeah, I mean, I have Cincinnati's all, if you've been a Burrow owner, which I have in Dynasty for the last couple of years, Burrow gets off to a slow start, but they get it together. They find the offense. They find what works. They're in a tough division. They have tough matchups. They start once they start rolling, putting it together. Obviously the calf strain was an issue, but it looks like he got past it or is learning how to manage with it. Just kind of like how Herbert did. Remember when he had the rib injury last year, he still played on it. It took him a couple games to kind of readjust his throwing mechanics and do what he had to do to kind of manage that pain and figure out what his limitations, what throws he could do, not do, had it worked out with the coordinator and was still able to produce. So I think that's what we're seeing, from Burrow. These guys are professionals. They know how to play with pain. These coordinators will draw stuff up. They know what his weaknesses are. They know what his strengths are. And I think they, made the, right changes to that offense. And I think he'll be fine, moving forward. Obviously, if he has a big setback or something, but yeah. So I'm firing up Burrow, man. Yeah, and he had five carries, I think. Even it was only for 18 yards, but yeah, he had some. He wasn't afraid to run it. That's what's important. I think the game before or 2 games before that, he had zero attempts. He wasn't even trying to run it. So That's just my opinion.
Definitely looked the best, obviously, when he has all year. All right.
Now, if you can get Purdy and Waddle or somebody like that, then maybe it's worth it. But I can't just do Burrow for Waddle straight up. Like Burrow for Tyreek. Okay, now you're talking. But
how about
is it super flex or is it just regular? Like
sounds like
I'm assuming one QB.
If it's one, I don't know.
I'm with you there, Sinker. But
I think Waddle's an easy smash, man.
That's the beauty of this game, man. We could have
absolutely. This is why trades work.
Maybe try to package Kirk Cousins with another player and see if the owner bites. How about that?
Yeah, but give him Kirk Cousins and somebody for Waddle.
Yeah,
it's one QB. Yeah,
one QB.
Yeah, you said one QB.
Whatever you do, wishing you the best, man. Hope it works in your favor. Another running back injury. This has been the theme of the show. With James Conner expected to miss at least 4 weeks on IR, is Amari DiMercato. How do I say it? Amari DiMercato. Worth this.
It's pretty good. I'll take it.
DiMercato. I don't know.
DiMercato.
There you go. There you is. Yeah. Now you hit it. There it is. Yeah, you have to do this with it.
Yeah. He doesn't look Italian. But anyway,
not at all.
Good game. He had a good game filling in when Connor went down. We already talked about that. This Cardinals team is better than we thought it was going to be. They can move the ball. They could be in games. What do you have here? We had 10 attempts, 45 yards, 4.5 yards a carry, and a tutty. He got 3 targets, caught one for 12 yards, and yeah, he's worth the stash. He's gonna get carries. James Conner's missing at least 4 weeks. You don't know how much longer after that. 100% worth the stash. I'm not breaking the bank on him. I victory lapping in one of my dynasty leagues. I had an open spot. And I scooped them up before the game. And, I hate to see someone get hurt, but, you feel like a genius when that happens, when you pick someone up like that right before.
Well done.
Yeah.
Definitely worth the stash. I'm obviously I think I'm prioritizing Jeff Wilson, obviously Addison over DiMercato, but, you could get him for, lighter fab. Definitely worth the stash because he's going to get the carries. Did I say he was worth the stash? Sinker, how do you feel about DiMercato?
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I was trying to get some information on this kid because as a prospect, I honestly don't know much about him. But if he jumps into that role and he's getting the opportunity, I think he's definitely worth a stash, right? But I think he's worth some of your fab too. Like if you're able to get a starting running back week 5 right now, I think you need to drop fab on this guy. But yeah, I want to hear from you guys and to see if you think someone else in that offense is going to get work too. But if he and it all
Ingram,
nah, I don't think so. I think this is a rookie too, so it's like they're going to see what they got out of this kid. And sometimes opportunity is the best thing that can happen, right? So I don't know if I was looking at James Conner's his touches, right? So I think he was averaging 18 touches a game or so. If he jumps in and gets that work, man, I mean that's worth some of your fab. I don't know. Definitely worth a stash if you're just stashing him, but I think I'm spending fab on him too.
Yeah, I mean, with the Cardinals claimed Tony Jones off waivers, who got
which doesn't excite me, but
yeah, it doesn't excite me at all. I'm taking the unknown.
It's like his third team in this year, I think. He's been cut and signed 3 times.
You want Keontae Ingram? You want Tony Jones? You want DiMercato? I want DiMercato, man. He's worth the stash. Put a little fab on him. Sinker's 100% right. Running backs are hard to get. Doesn't matter if they're in a bad offense. Doesn't matter if you never heard the guy's name until last week. That's the name of the game. Take your shot. Rasta, how you feeling about this kid? Sorry to cut you off, Sinker. We'll get back.
No, you're good.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, you guys kind of hit the nail on the head here. He came in, played 77% of the snaps, last week. That doesn't include the 21% that Connor played before he got injured. So that's 98% of the snap share that was basically split between those two backs. We'll call that 100 just to round it off because I don't know where the other 2% are. And I don't want to try to find it at the moment. But basically, he was getting all the touches. He stepped in, basically was the James Conner of this offense. 4.5 yards per carry. That's manageable. That's doable. Against a pretty tough, Cincinnati front seven. They're not crazy good, but they're not terrible either. Kind of middle of the pack there. They get the Rams, Seahawks, Baltimore, and then the Cleveland defense, which might be a little tough before, Connor's expected to come back week 10 against Atlanta. So I think there's opportunities there to, get him in there. Like we said, the running back position at this moment is a wasteland, especially if you went hero or zero RB, and maybe your hero RB was Nick Chubb, like what happened to me, or J.K. Dobbins, and my villain RB, as I like to call it, where you're kind of grabbing that RB2 as your RB1 in a modified hero RB build, and you have those guys kind of go down. These are the weeks that you're looking for, being able to grab guys like this, get them on your lineup, stick them in there for a couple weeks. You're just kind of living week by week. As far as how you're managing your team, obviously you hope you have a stud quarterback, possibly a nice, decent tight end there. But 2, 3, maybe 4, depending on how many positions you're starting, as far as wide receivers, and have that all built out, that can make up for, that difference. So, to me, with Connor now, last night I was saying on our show, I probably wouldn't spend more than 5 to 10%, but boy, was I way wrong on, these guys. I did all 3 guys that we had talked about last night, all went on IR or candidates for IR today. So when that happens and you're going to get at least a minimum of 4 games, I think that 5 to 10% of that, $100 starting budget goes up to, closer to 10 or 20%. Or more in some of these cases, depending on how you're sitting at that RB position. If it's just a depth spot for you, I'm still probably going to stick within that 5 to 10% just to kind of keep people honest and not get away with it, and then see all who bid on them if you did overbid, and then just sell them off, immediately to those RB heavy teams. So even if you are stout, this is a guy you could potentially get, trade off, package with somebody to upgrade another position to somebody that's hurting at running back. Which is something I love to do. I was able to flip, guys like Jerome Ford, into guys like David Montgomery with the same, thought process. So to me, you're always looking for opportunities like that. So put in a bid.
Yeah, I mean, I just looked up his college profile and his stats, and his player profile, nothing stands out as him. He's 24 years old. I don't know. He redshirted last year.
Jonathan Taylor.
I know, but but JT didn't come into the league at 24. I mean, that's the biggest thing for me. So so I don't think
more like Najee.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And look what Najee's doing. But no, I don't think anything stands out player profile wise. Oh wow, this dude has an opportunity to blow up. But I just think everything that we've said is volume is king, and it's really ugly in the running back position. So if you're getting a guy that they're going to give the ball to, 15 times a game, it's a no-brainer, man. You got to try to get him.
Man, I'm rooting for this kid. I hope I see him score on Red Zone. I'll text both of you guys, and I'm rooting for this kid. DeMarcado.
DeMarcado. Got to go like this.
Anyway, another backfield. This is the running back show. What do you think about the Colts backfield moving forward? Living under a rock, Jonathan Taylor's back. They wanted to ease him in. He got 6 attempts for 18 yards, and looked like crap compared to the stud on that team, Zach Moss. Apparently,
the RB1. Yeah,
I can't believe I'm saying that. I kind of crapped on Zach Moss earlier in the year. I'm gonna eat my L on that.
Who didn't?
The dude has been good, man. The dude, there's no other way to put it. He's been reliable for you. He's been putting up, RB1 numbers even. He's the RB6 right now.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
And he didn't even play week 1, and that's without even playing week 1.
Zach Moss, RB6. Yeah, if you drop Zach Moss with the Taylor news, I am sorry. I think he's gonna be involved, and I don't really know what to make of the backfield moving forward. I know they want to get Taylor more involved. It sucks Richardson is hurt again.
That's a good thing.
That's a good thing for the backs. Yeah, you're right.
It couldn't have been a better situation going on.
I'm just so all these guys getting hurt. It's depressing, man. It's so bad for the game. But that's where my head's at with that. But as far as the running backs in Indianapolis, man, Zach Moss looks like a guy you got for free who's helping you win games right now. And, I have no idea what to make of this moving forward, man. I know they just paid Jonathan Taylor, one of the better backs in the NFL. It's going to take him a while to get into game shape, I feel. Can you starting both of them? Are you benching Taylor? Are you playing Moss? I'll pass this to you, Rasta.
All right, I'll bite. So to me, everything you said about Moss is the reason why people should probably be going Gaga over Jonathan Taylor. I mean, if somebody with Moss's skill set who could barely stay on a team is now finding this success in this exact offense, imagine throwing a guy who's finished as an RB1 in that backfield at full health, full strength, with the opportunities, that he's going to get, especially now if he's not going to be vultured at the goal line with touchdowns. I think his touchdown upside shoots up. The problem is when is it going to happen? There's definitely going to be a transition. Obviously, I think it was smart for them not to come in and give him 23 carries. The fact he came in, just played only 15% of the snaps, got 6 carries, 18 yards. They threw him a catch, for 16 yards and just, kind of get his feet wet. It's preseason for him at this point. Again, he hasn't even, this last week was the first time he's even practiced since December of last year. So imagine not playing the sport you play due to injury, or at this highest of level for 6-10 months. Like, it's been almost a full calendar year since he last played football. So I think it'll be a transition. If you can, I would sell Zach Moss as high as you can right now. I'm definitely not dropping him. Again, if you're really hurting, you can probably use him still here for the next couple weeks as we see, the shift kind of, take over there. I think he'll still have somewhat of a role, but Taylor should come in and easily. I mean, they just paid the dude $14 million a year. Like, they're not going to give the ball to, after all the drama, to just have it be a split backfield with Zach Moss of all people. So kudos to him. Like you said, the people that took the gamble on him. Unfortunately, I was fading everybody on the Indy offense this year just because fantasy's hard enough just with all the stuff you do know, let alone with all the drama and extra baggage, especially off the field stuff that you can't even really analyze with numbers. So to me, they were just hands off just until I needed to see something. But, now if you did take that chance and you're still viable in your league, because you did pick up someone like Zach Moss, someone like that, you're going to get paid out here with Jonathan Taylor. You just hope, obviously, he doesn't come up with, soft tissue injury of his own, having, not played for so long. So definitely don't drop Moss. If you can turn him into someone like, David Montgomery, like we've been talking about, someone like that, then I'm definitely looking and seeking out those type of trades. But I'm definitely not dropping him. And he's probably startable for the next 2 weeks or so.
Yeah,
but he gets Jacksonville, which is good. But yeah, Cleveland, New Orleans, like it's getting tough.
So you're selling Moss. Are you buying Taylor? You buying? You said you were off, preseason, but what you've seen, like, I don't know if the owner's going to sell Taylor right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think the window's closed. Yeah, he's signed. Yeah. He's good. He's there. All that baggage is gone now. So now it's just time to reap the rewards. That window, as I like to say, is slammed shut. So yeah, for now, like I said, Moss is just like one of those thrown pieces. Put him and Pickens together and maybe go get, someone. I don't know, but not. You're not just dropping
the logic
him.
behind it. Yeah,
exactly.
Not drop him for sure. Someone scooping him up. He still has value.
And you've seen what he's done. Yeah, like you see what he's done. If Taylor gets hurt, he's just like a handcuff, like Tajay Spears, Jalen Warren, all these guys, Tank Bigsby, Zach Charbonnet. Like, he's one of those guys that should be rostered. And unlike guys like Josh Kelly, who had a chance when their RB1 went down and didn't do anything, those are the guys that you kick to the curb. Guys that you've seen have come in and produced RB1 numbers when their RB1 goes down, those are the guys you continue to hold, even if the RB1 comes back, because dude could get hurt that same week and go out again, and you have a plug-and-play guy you can have, right there. So, again, don't sell low on him if you can. Sell him as a handcuff at that value, or just keep him because he's going to be beneficial to your team potentially some, way down the road. Or sell that fact. Yeah, to the Jonathan Taylor owner. Sell him to the Jonathan Taylor owner.
I can't believe we're calling Zach Moss a premier handcuff.
Yeah.
I can't believe we're saying he's the
RB6. Crazy.
Like, welcome to fantasy football.
Exactly.
The game. This is why we love it. It's so unpredictable. Sinker, anything to add? How do you feel about the Colts backfield, man?
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys covered it well, so I'm not going to take up too much time. But yeah, I mean, I agree with Rasta. I think it's if you can get Jonathan Taylor somehow, trade for him. But yeah, don't drop Zach Moss because he is a premier handcuff. But he might get some work, but they're definitely going to give Jonathan Taylor the work. I mean, they paid the man, so as much as Zach Moss looks great and he's balling out, it money talks, man. They paid him; they're going to get their guy going.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
not a matter of if, it's when.
When?
So,
Yeah.
So
Ride the
maybe,
wave.
yeah, as Rasta said, maybe Moss can get you a couple more weeks of production. He comes out and balls next week with Taylor still there, then you could probably sell higher. But, it's like the stock market. You got to pick and choose the right time when you want to dish someone. Or Zach Moss, RB6. We're moving on. Perry W. with the trade question. He
What's
wants to know
up, Perry?
if he should trade Ramondre Stevenson and Puka for Kamara or Mixon. I could do either or. I don't know if I'm giving Puka straight up for any of these guys right now, the way that kid's
Maybe
looked,
Kamara. Yeah, like maybe Kamara, but I'm holding Puka right now, man.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm literally starting him and Cup in a league where I was able to pick him up with Cup on the IR, was able to snatch him, plugged him in. It was basically like I've had Cup this entire time. Cup came back this week. I didn't know what to do. I had to start two of them between Puka, Cup, and Nico Collins. The Collins coming off a huge game. Of course, I decided to go with Collins and Cup, which at least I made the right decision out of Cup. And Puka got me a couple more points there, was able to get the W, which was nice. But this week I'm rolling out both those guys with Amari Cooper, and I'm calling it a day.
Another victory
Not even thinking
lap.
twice about it.
I said play them. I said play them both last week, so I'll take a little victory lap.
There you go.
Stafford stocks up. That's all I'm saying. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm not giving up Puka. Take Stevenson out of the trade. I'm probably not trading Puka for one of those backs unless you're desperate for a running back. Then I'm leaning Kamara over Mixon. Sinker,
Agree.
are you giving up Puka for any of these backs?
Yeah, I did say Puka was a sell high last week before Cup came out.
You like that Tutty? You like that Tutty?
Yeah.
Kid
So
is shit, man.
Yeah, he is. But I still think, the only reason I said that is because I think Cup is going to get more volume, and we did see that. So,
only one more target. They both had 11 and 12 targets respectfully, dude. They just traded Van Jefferson, so like Tutu Atwell's the field stretcher, clear it out for these two. Like they're gonna ball out, man.
One week of Cup coming off injury, so we'll see. Look, don't do this trade. Keep Puka. I'm gonna agree, but I'm just saying. Like, I still think if Cup stays healthy, like, look, Stafford can support two guys. So I'm not saying I'm not saying like I was wrong. My whole point was just, hey, this is the highest. I think this is the highest Puka's value's ever gonna be. I could be wrong, but don't trade him for Kamara Mixon.
I'm riding that Puka wave to the championship, man. He's like my new favorite player, and with next to DeMarcado, we'll take one more.
Macardo.
Nakua DeMarcado.
Yeah, exactly.
What a badass name. We're gonna go from one of the best in the league right now with Puka to one of the worst. We're talking about Najee Harris here. Warrior typing in again. Talking about Najee, you think he'll be better than he already is this year, and I don't think he will be. I think Warren's gonna get more and more involved. I think that Steelers offense is so iffy, man, and I think they love Warren, and he's getting more involved every week. And I think Najee's just a bust as far as fantasy football. Real life football, I don't want anything to do with Najee, man. I'm mad at myself. I even traded for him in a dynasty league because I got him for a good price, and I'm still mad about it. He just looks slow.
Wasn't good enough.
Wasn't good enough, man. I don't think things are going to get much better for him. For your sake, I hope I'm wrong, but from what I've seen and what I've seen out of Warren and how he's getting more involved and how much the coaches love him, and just the games the Steelers are in, they're not going to score a lot of points. They're not even like Najee was supposed to get all these goal line carries. They're not scoring that much. Yeah, they're not there. So I want nothing to do with Najee. Keep this one short and sweet. Rasta, you think things will get better for Najee, or you think it's just not looking great.
I'm on that Warren train. I'm stashing Warren, waiting for him. He's flexible at the moment. That negative game script you talked about, especially with Deontay Johnson out, it looks like he's going to be coming back here week 7 from what he's saying. So that could be a positive for this offense to maybe open things up. So maybe there's a small chance that Najee could, become relevant again. But, obviously Pickett dealing with the knee injury as well. So we'll see how he looks after the bye. But yeah, I mean, whenever you're seeing the Pittsburgh backfield basically at a 50-50 split, it's like literally 52-48 right now with those guys in the backfield. And I'll take the guy, especially in your PPR leagues, that's getting the, at least 3 receptions a game, up to 6 receptions. So again, negative game script. He's in that 2-minute drill. He's in the comeback mode. So give me as much Warren as I can get.
With you there. I'm not even sure if I need to ask Sinker because this dude was off the Najee train, preseason. Looks like you were right. You could do your little victory lap now. You were like, I remember you straight up saying like, I just think he stinks. And I'm like,
dude, he does stink. I think that's literally what I said. I was like, I think he stinks, dude. And just like it's crazy when you watch the Steelers games, they're still trying to get Najee going. And he sucks, and then they put in Warren, and they get like an 8-yard gain, and it's just
seriously.
It's like, how do you not see this and just, I don't know. Najee sucks, man.
Jalen Warren up, Najee down. Simple as that. Take one more. We're a little over, but this one came in through IG late, and I thought it was a great question. So we'll take one more here. Who would you rather have rest of season, Hawk or Laporta? And what about in Dynasty? That's from George Cruz, our guest last week. That's a great question, George. How could you not want Sam Laporta right now, bro?
That's my guy.
How can you
That's
not
our get right guy right there, man.
Right now, man. He's the tight end 1, I think. Let me look. Yeah,
I know he was top 5.
He's tight end 1. He's tight end 1.
After that 2-touchdown game.
Yeah, that rookie tight end curse. Sam Laporta took a sledgehammer to that and shattered it into a million pieces. He's the real deal, man, and he's been doing it since week 1. Another monster game, 2 touchdowns. Goff's looking at him in the red zone. 3 on the year already. Gets his targets. It was his lowest targeted game. He only had 4 targets, but he came down with 2 touchdowns. Half his targets were touchdowns. Then that's not the George Kittle 3 for 3, but that's pretty damn good, man.
Both are from Iowa.
Yeah, man, and they're scheming him too. That's the thing. He's getting targets, but they're literally scheming him the ball.
Especially with no Amon-Ra right now. I mean, he was an easy start this week.
He's not leaving my lineup ever. You have to pry him from my cold dead hands at this point. We just talked about how Hawkins, Hawk can ball too. We've seen it. We just talked about how his involvement's going to go up. His usage is going to go up with the injury to Jefferson.
Yeah.
But
there's no wrong answer here.
There's no wrong answer. But I like the shiny new toy, man. I think this kid Laporta is a stud. So that's my pick. They're both great tight ends to have in a tight end wasteland. But for me, it's Sam Laporta. Sinker, who's your pick out of those 2? I think it's Sam Laporta in redraft and Dynasty. Sorry to answer the second part of the question.
No, yeah, I agree, man. When we talked about Laporta like 2-3 weeks ago, I said there's only probably one tight end I would rather roster than Laporta, and it was Travis Kelce at the time. And I stand by that. I still am, man. I'm seeing that actually happen. He's a stud, and they're getting him going. The connection with Goff, they're scheming him the ball. He's catching on to the NFL quickly, and that's huge, man. And he's got the player profile to absolutely smash.
And he's able to block.
And that's
what's keeping him on the field.
Exactly. And he's
good
at it. And he's good at it too. So man, it's Laporta for me, man. Redraft and Dynasty.
Yeah, same. Laporta for me, definitely Dynasty. I could make the argument of playing devil's advocate about Hawkinson with JJ going down here. Hawkinson does have the most tight end targets, I believe, with 39, most tight end catches with 30. But and you can argue that the Vikings defense is a lot worse than the Detroit defense right now. So obviously that negative game script, which is what you want, for that passing game. So I can make that argument. But like you said, the hot new shiny toy, the guy you've been touting all offseason, he's been a big get right guy. My co-host Classic Mike has him in all 7 of his leagues. He finally completed the last trade to get him on his team this last weekend, and definitely is paying dividends. I've been starting him in my one of my biggest buy-in in my home leagues since week 1, and he hasn't disappointed even since week 1 with those 5 catches. I think he had like 50 something yards, 5 catches, which is pretty decent from that tight end position, especially a rookie in game 1. And I basically haven't wavered since. He's been in my lineup the entire time. I'm starting actually him and Demon on the same team there. So I'm a big Detroit fan this year. So let's go. Whatever Detroit fans say, whatever their calling thing is.
Even if I had,
Good year to be
even if I had
alive, man.
St. Brown, man, I'd start 3 Lions. I wouldn't even care right now the way that team's rolling.
Seriously.
What is the Lions like catchphrase? Do they just go roar or something?
Go Lions or something? I don't know.
Anyway,
they haven't had much to cheer about for a while, so maybe they'll come up with one this year.
Yeah, I think unless you're a fan of the team in the division, I think as football fans, it's great to see the Lions actually.
For sure.
Actually,
we're gonna have good football on Thanksgiving. Like that's the thing I'm so excited about. It's actually a good Detroit game
last
on
time I got excited
so.
for Lions football and Thanksgiving is when I had Calvin Johnson on my fantasy team. So.
Oh yeah, or when they were on the quest for 0-16. Like that was worth watching for the opposite reason.
I watch every game I get the chance. I'm watching, good or bad. Last night was so brutal, but I still watched it. Sam Laporta, that's our guy. But
let's go.
We are over, and
sorry guys.
No, it's not your fault. We go over all the time. We just love talking football, man. And you were great, man. We knew you would be, and we appreciate your time and hopping on. This was a great show, and you'll definitely be back with us if you wanna next season. The invite will be there because that was awesome, man. If you want to take a minute, plug your show, tell the users what you're about, what you do, why you love fantasy, where to find you, all that good stuff. Go ahead, man. The floor is yours.
For sure. No, I appreciate that. Of course, first and foremost, thanks for having me, guys. This was a lot of fun. I feel like we could talk easily, probably 2 more hours. That's what happens on Get Right Fantasy, man. Our shows are usually at least 2 hours, 3 hours long sometimes, but we go in there because we like, answering everyone's questions. We like making sure we cover all the details to help you guys out, making the right choices, heading into each week, letting you know how we're feeling. And then, like you mentioned on our off season, man, we have, we kind of came up with this mock draft tournament of champions, just a way to kind of fill that last month, heading up to the season to make it go by. It's a lot of fun. Get your drafting in, a lot of competitive folks that are in there. So if you guys are interested, hit me up on Twitter at Rastafarin or at Get Right Fantasy. Or you guys can, just check out our stream, which, search us on YouTube there and come join us, man. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. We're so close, like less than 10 away. I think we only need like 5 more. So again, just a lot of appreciation and love out there for everyone who supported us and keeping us going here, man. It's been a lot of fun on this journey, and we hope to keep continuing this for you guys and bring home some championships. That's what it's all about. So yeah, that's us, man. And thanks for having me.
Yeah, Get Right Fantasy. Go follow them. It's a great channel, man.
Let's get them to 1,000. Come on.
Let's get them to 1K, man.
Let's do it. We're giving out a ring, man. Ring from TrophySmack.com, man. We're giving out 1,000 subscriber wing. It's going to have our logo on it. It says Get Right Fantasy, 1,000 subscribers. It'll be your ring to keep. So come check us out and sub, man.
Go get some bling, man. Well, thanks again, bro. It's been a lot of fun. But for Rasta and the Get Right Fantasy Network, for my right-hand man, Sinker, I'm Sanchi Value. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Fantasy Fanline. We'll see you next week. Peace.